Creating a brand that becomes a household name across borders is by sheer dint of a passionate spirit, hard work ethic, and the power to innovate and deliver quality products and service. It was out of such vibrant building blocks that Edita Foods was established in Egypt in 1996, a pioneer in the snack food industry, introducing to the market packaged croissants, the first of its kind in Egypt and its neighboring countries.
As I said, in 1996, I moved into industry when I found an opportunity, and the opportunity was that I was in Europe and my kids were on the beach, and I saw them eating this croissant that attracted my attention. You know, being in FMCG, always been into this type of industry. I grabbed the bag and tasted the product. I felt that this is a good product that can fit the Egyptian market, and I thought that this could be the second generation of snacks. After extruded snacks, salty snacks, and wafer, maybe the croissant and packed bakery goods, something non-existent in the Egyptian market. So I brought the bag back, and I say to myself, I'm going to start an operation here in Egypt. And I looked at, as I said, the pouch. It was produced by a person that I met many years ago, in 1986. 10 years earlier, I have met him in one of the food show. So I called him and I say, I want to meet you. We went and I met him in Greece, in Athens. We had 3 hours discussion, and during the 3 hours we have told the story of each other, what we have been doing over the past 10 years, how he established his company, what I've been doing. And I told him at the end of the meeting that I like your product and I want you give me the know-how for Egypt. He told me, no, I don't want to give you the know-how, I want to be a partner with you. Of course, this was music to my ear, and then this is how it all started in Egypt. I brought the product back to Cairo, met with some of my consultants, with everybody this encouraged me of doing the project. Say, this is something Egyptians are not used to eat. Croissant is a luxury, people go to bakery in hotels to eat it, so it will not work as a snack. Despite that, I was not convinced and I think that's a lesson or a message I would like to give to any startup, that whenever you believe in a project, don't get demotivated. If you believe in it, work hard and it will happen. And that's how it made it successful. We started with one croissant line, and this is where it all began in 1996, which became an important pillar in FMCG in Egypt. And we created a market that is now crossing the 3+ billion Egyptian pound, and we dominated. What we did in Edita, that we converted the croissant that is produced in bakery with the smell, that the French, whatever, into an affordable snack. A snack that you can eat on each occasion. And when we first launched the product, the selling message was the best meal between meals. When you are hungry, go and grab a croissant, and it will fulfill your hunger. So that was the message that made the croissant successful. Then adding the chocolate inside, and consumer in Egypt and youth, they indulge with chocolate. And the chocolate of our croissant is very unique, actually. So that's the message, converting whatever you can buy from a bakery into a pack that is affordable, that you can buy under any occasion. And you can eat on the street, you can eat at home, you can eat at school, you can eat at uni, at any occasion when you feel hungry, and affordability and the flexibility of the consumption.
Established by the Berzi family, Edita started by building a processing plant for chocolate-filled croissants. In 2003, they purchased and upgraded a factory which allowed them to diversify into the manufacturing of cakes under an international license.
Shareholders will not invest in the company unless they feel that they are creating value for their money. And that's what we are doing. We are always innovative. We try to expand and grow the business. And that's what we have been doing for the past 25 years. We start with one operation line. Today we have, with one factory, today we have 5 factories in Egypt. We have 1 factory in Morocco.
We currently have 32 production lines among our 6 factories, including our newly established factory in Morocco. Definitely today we are realizing a huge return on investment with our huge asset base, and it's a great barrier to entry.
And this is how we create value. And the value from any FMCG comes from its brand. So we are very cautious and very careful when we deal and with our brands. The brands are very important to us. We need to create value from our brand. We make it the most often consumed brand and product in Egypt. So this is how we create value to shareholders.
Growth and diversification came quick, and within a couple of years, Edita achieved international safety certifications for both facilities and products, introduced integrated business processes, as well as a new line of products, this time making candy.
The important principles that I always had is to bring in the company good calibers. That's very important to the success of an organization, and sustainable quality. That was key for me. And when I felt and I saw that my company is growing at a very quick and fast pace, I decided to take a pause, and I said to myself, I have to restructure the organization in a way to make the business sustainable and successful at the end. So as I said, I bring on the table with me thinkers, not doers. That was very important, because lots of people bring staff with them and management that they need to execute what they want to do. But actually, on the contrary, I decided to bring thinkers and not doers on the table, and draft a very strict and clear policies and procedure in the organization to make sure that everybody follow these policies and this procedure, and incorporate and introduce what I called a benign bureaucracy. Benign bureaucracy to control the business, not to put obstacles. So I think these are very important pillars that made Edita successful. First of all, sustainable quality, which is very, very important. And the sustainable quality would not come without strong management team and proper human capital in place. And the human capital could not operate in place without clear policies and procedure. So I think these are three pillars that made Edita a successful company.
In Edita, we have a leading position in most of the categories we're operating in. If we look into our drive categories or drive brands, when it comes to bakery, we have Molto, the first packed croissant that was introduced to the market with over 50% in terms of market share. Same goes for the cakes, in which we have a diversified brand approach with Twinkies, Ho-Hos, and Todo. All together, they contribute to almost 50% market share as well. When it comes to the rusks, we were again the first to introduce packed rusks to the market, and we're currently holding a position of 56% market share. So in general, whatever category we introduce, we make sure that we support the brands, we create equity, and over time we reach a leading position in these categories.
Further growth in the fortunes of the company led to its enlistment on the Egyptian Stock Exchange in 2015, acquired several properties in different countries, and continued to expand its brand portfolio and reach, whilst taking up corporate social responsibility by sponsoring the Total African Cup of Nations in 2019.
Well, regional expansion is a key strategy pillar for us, and we consider it one of the main growth drivers for Edita on the long term. Looking at financing, we are luckily a company with a very strong balance sheet. We sell mostly on cash. We have a very low leverage as a company, so we have room to raise debt. Additionally, we are listed in the stock market, in the Egyptian stock market and London Stock Exchange, so we have the opportunity to raise funds through the capital markets.
In the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, Edita has been forced to take some strategic measures to stay at the top of the market and is ready to enhance its reputation by moving into other countries within the next few years.
I think for the pandemic, first of all, I think the Egyptian government had some initiatives. They tried to find a moderate strategy, limited mobility, border closures, and this as well had its serious impact on the economy. On the other side, other initiatives by interest rate reduction, tax deferral, financial aid to the less fortunate persons helped significantly protect the economy. Still some negative impact, but overall, I think it was quite moderate. Looking to Edita on this regard, we work in the food industry. So we had to continue operating, we had to continue supplying our markets and our consumers, but we still as well had to protect the health of our employees, the individuals, maintain social distancing. And I think in this regard, we did quite a good job. We managed to maintain our revenues as a company, provide the market, and ensure the market share is protected as well. And in return as well, we continued our social responsibility. We managed not to reduce our headcount. We managed to have our salary increases. We distributed bonuses to the employees as well. So this as well helped reducing the impact on our own employees.
First of all, if we look into the first stages of the pandemic, we see that the government has imposed curfew, which has led into reducing the traffic in the streets. Being one of the companies that operate in categories that are mainly dependent on impulse purchases, this has affected the volumes of our sales big time. So in order to counter this, we had to introduce new innovation and richer experience to the consumer, but this time at higher value, in order to offset and counter the impact that we witnessed in terms of drop in volume in our regular portfolio.
We need for sure defend our market share and position in Egypt, that's for sure. And an important part of our strategy, we want to become a regional player. We have started already 3 years ago in Morocco, in Casablanca, where we put our first regional operation. And we are looking forward to replicate that within the next 5 years. I want to see Edita in another 2 countries and new territories. That's key for me.
Our strategy basically is to look for opportunities and countries where there is huge domestic demand, where we can extract value, and introducing our brands into those countries.
Well, it has been a journey, 25 years plus. I think it was worth it, the time I spent and the hard work I did. And looking at where is Edita today, if you ask me, would you have ever thought that the day you started the company in 1996, you will reach the level you are here today? I would have said no. But it has been rewarding. As I said, the hard work is rewarding. Clear strategy, clear proper system in place is key for success. And very important, as I mentioned, the human capital. Having been surrounded with dedicated and good calibers is key to grow any business, because at the end, you look at your capability, you cannot follow everything unless you have the proper team in place. So if there is a message that I would deliver to any young people or a young investor who want to start the business, follow your dream and don't get demotivated, and make sure to put a lot of hard work to make your ideas and dream be realized.
The venture paid off, and the will to further its goals is as fresh as it was in the very beginning, and that is the wind that will carry Edita Foods beyond their wildest dreams.